What's up? It's Jen Brown. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do this nice kind of just sit down video to talk about some tips that I have for everyday living with chronic pain and chronic fatigue. I actually didn't plan the timing of this video to be in Disability Awareness Month, which is the month of July, but it just kind of worked out that way. So happy Disability Awareness Month. Is that something we celebrate, I guess? But I know that a lot of times, if you're new here and you have not seen one of these types of videos for a while, I deal with chronic pain and fatigue, primarily joint pain, with some other stuff too, but that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today. But I know if you deal with similar things, a lot of times when I'm researching or just like hearing things about like advice people give about things that can help, a lot of it is kind of like big, like whole lifestyle changes, and those can be really helpful and important. But what I wanted to kind of share today is just some of like the really simple, easy, everyday things that you can try once or you can try every day that are just like, they don't cost very much, if anything at all, or just things to make your life a little bit simpler and maybe make you less tired or hopefully have a little bit less pain. So I've gathered kind of a list that I'll break down into different sections, and I just realized there's construction going on outside, so hopefully the truck just pulled away, so maybe the noise won't be so bad. I'm hoping the noise will stay here and not pick up what's outside. So I guess I'll start with talking about, need to get a pen, otherwise I'll lose track of where I am on my list. Start with talking about mobility. I know everybody's has different ranges of mobility. If you're like me, it can change from day to day. Sometimes if I'm having more pain or if I'm more tired one day, my mobility is less. Something that made a huge difference for me was using a walking cane. I've been using one for, I think, close to 8 years now. And this was like a total game changer. I was very hesitant about using it at first for just like a bunch of really silly reasons. But it's made me able to stand and walk longer distances. When people ask about it, sometimes I always tell them I don't need the cane all the time every day, but the more I use it, the more I can like kind of go long term. So I always have it with me. I don't have to use it every second. I could get up out of this chair without it. It wouldn't be a big deal, but this is like number one, been the huge life changer for me. And I'm sort of like, this one's pretty beat up. I've actually been learning some self-defense with this. That's a total side note, but I will link this guy that I've been watching who like teaches martial arts, and that's just been like a fun way to exercise and kind of like, I don't know, work with my cane. But this one's all beat up because of that. But I'm really into like fashion and accessories and all that kind of stuff. And so I have like a handful of canes, and I always tell people they're like shoes. I just use which cane matches my outfit that day. I've been able to make it fun and make it like an accessory, and it's not a big deal to have around. Since we're talking about accessories. Another thing that's been a huge changer for me as far as pain and getting really tired is my purse that I use, or my bag. I was a hardcore like one shoulder crossbody purse girl, but a couple of years ago when mini backpacks came back into style, I actually decided to try them out because A, they're really cute, but also wearing a backpack like evenly distributes the weight on my shoulders. My shoulders do still get tired fairly quickly, but because these are small, I don't keep a lot of stuff in here. Like, you can't keep a lot of stuff in here, but this one's like a really good size. They hold the necessities and nothing else. So I'm not tempted to just like put a ton of crap in here. I have a couple of them. Like I have this one, I have more of like a fall winter one, and a black one. And it's just like I said, it evenly distributes the weight. So instead of one shoulder getting fatigued really, really fast, I can carry it on one shoulder or both, and it's just like, or by the handle, if my shoulders get too tired, I can just carry it like this. So that's been a really huge help. The other one, I don't have a pair of shoes sitting here with me because you know what shoes look like, but another one I have is just a good pair of shoes for walking. I definitely have a few like really good pairs of sneakers. I have, oh, something I didn't think about, shoe inserts might be good for you. I have some like fancy arch support shoe inserts, but I know you can just buy those too. Like, you don't have to get them recommended to you by a doctor or anything like that, but just like gel inserts or something to make it more comfy, or like good like athletic shoes. You can definitely like thrift those if you don't want to spend a lot of money. Or the pair that I have for my workouts or when I try to take walks, I got them on sale from Reebok for like $30. So you really don't have to spend a ton of money, but just get something with some cushion in it to like really support your knees and your legs when you're trying to walk. All right, moving on to kind of household things. Another one, I'll stick a picture up here if you don't know what I'm talking about, but I didn't want to drag it upstairs. But a huge thing as far as household stuff for me was getting a stick vacuum. I got this one for Christmas. It is a Dyson. It's a much older generation one, so I got it as a gift, but it was not like the brand new $800 ones. But I know you can get perfectly fine stick vacuums that are a lot cheaper than this. This one's just really nice because you don't have to plug it in. It's battery powered. But I had for like literally my entire adult life, since I moved out of my parents' house, I had my parents' old vacuum, and I refused to get a new one because my mom always said that she regretted giving me that vacuum because everything she bought like didn't do a good job of cleaning. But that thing was a beast. Like, it was so heavy, and it wasn't a big deal when I used to live in a house that was one story. I mean, it had a basement, but we just like swept to the basement. We didn't vacuum down there. But now that we live in this apartment that is 2 floors, it was such a huge pain, and I actually had to have my boyfriend like bring the vacuum up and down the stairs for me, which of course he doesn't mind, but like, I want to be able to vacuum the house when I want to without needing help. And so this vacuum is so much lighter. It literally just like pops off its little charging port thing, and I can grab it and go and just vacuum really quickly, and it's not a big deal. So that one was like a really great help. Moving on to kitchen stuff, I have a few different kitchen things that I really like to cook, and I've found that these really help me, again, as far as like pain and just like, especially if you're cooking a big meal that takes a while. Like, I get tired after standing for a long time for cooking. I guess I should have said this at the beginning, but my sort of pain regions, my hips are pretty much 100% of the time. The next sort of level is like knees and wrists and shoulders, that get tired quicker, as well as like actually have pain. And like my wrists, it's like really bad in here when I do certain things. And so most of the kitchen objects I have are to help alleviate wrist pain. Something I do is I quit buying ceramic dishware. Like, all of my plates and most of my cups are plastic. I do still have some glass serving bowls, but I usually get like stainless steel or plastic serving bowls too, just because especially like lifting glass things down out of a cabinet like really causes wrist pain for me. And so I finally just like, I was like, I don't care. I don't need like fancy adult mature looking kitchenware. Like, I have my plastic rainbow colored plates from Target, and I love them, and they're light and easy for me to hold. So that's just my opinion on that. As far as cooking, my most recent one is this vegetable peeler, which it might seem really silly to be like, oh, this is a tip for managing pain, but I always had those like really skinny vegetable peelers that you have to like really kind of like bear down on, and that motion was really painful for me. And so this thing, it was like $10 on Amazon, I think, but it's literally like, it's so easy. You just like run this across. Another one, if you're like me, you've had these since you were a kid, but just like jar openers like this. Again, like this kind of motion is really bad for my wrists, so getting these just like rubber jar openers is a huge help. This one seems like it would be counterintuitive, but it's actually not. Sorry, there's a net in here. I keep waving it out of the way. Marble rolling pin. I know a lot of people just like these for the aesthetic, and it is really pretty, but I wanted to get one because I've been into making not just pastries, but like just rolling out dough for like different types of dumplings, and just anytime you're rolling things out, they stay really cold. They're easy to clean because you don't have like the handle and it's like getting gook in all of it. But these are a little bit heavier, so that's why I said it might seem kind of counterintuitive. It's a little bit heavier, but because of that, you don't have to do as much work when you're rolling. You don't really have to push down as much while you're rolling. You can just roll it and let gravity do its thing. So I find that it makes my arms less tired to use this when I'm trying to roll out dough. So the last kind of section of these that I want to talk about is just kind of like the actual pain management part, I guess. One thing that I'm not always super great at remembering to do is like stretching and decompressing. I try to remember to stretch just like all over. I try to do it every day. I don't always, but just like whether I'm going to work out or not, just trying to keep things as loose as possible. Another thing I have, I know these are pretty much everywhere, but these like little rolly ball massager things, it's just like, you just like roll it around on different parts of your body. This is really nice to get into like really like deep pain in my hips and stuff, to just try to like massage that out around my back, and it just feels really nice. So if you ever just want to give somebody a massage with this, those are really good. Another thing for when stuff is a little bit worse is just like little wraps and bandages and stuff. You can get like Ace bandages at the dollar store, that kind of stuff. This one is a wrist wrap that's nice. I find that a lot of the wrist wraps, they just go around down here, and like I said, since that pain part for me is in here, I couldn't find anything that had support there. So this shape one that goes kind of loops around your thumb is really nice, and it just like holds that still. So sometimes just if I need a little bit of extra support, I'll do this, or I have some Ace bandages I can wrap around my knee or my ankles or whatever, things like that. The next one might be helpful for other things. This is actually a migraine stick. I just got it off Amazon. I wanted to try it. I do have like chronic headaches. I don't get migraines terribly often, but I get headaches a lot. This did not help the migraines, but I love the way it smells. It's all like natural stuff. It's vegan and cruelty free. It's got peppermint, spearmint, lavender essential oils, and coconut oil. And honestly, just if I'm feeling stressed out or just not feeling that great, I just like to smell it. Some things that I've actually been doing sometimes before I go to bed, if I'm pretty stressed out, is I'll actually like put it on my upper lip so I can just smell it while I'm trying to fall asleep, or like I'll just put it on like my wrists or on my arm or whatever. It does have kind of like a slight like tingling, numbing sense, but it's very little. Like you really only feel that if you're putting it on your face. The sort of like cooling effect of it feels nice if I have a headache. It has not successfully made headaches go away for me, but I just love the smell, and so I find it really relaxing. But anything, if like candles or stuff that smells like helps kind of zen you out a little bit, that's always a good choice. Then my last one is this seat cushion. I could have been sitting on it this whole time. I got this off of Amazon too. It folds up and you just sit on it. I bought it to try on long car rides, but because of the state of things in the world last year, I have not traveled anywhere really, and so I haven't got to try it on a long car ride yet. But I keep it in the living room, and sometimes if I just like am sitting on the floor working on crafts, or sometimes I'll just like sit on the floor and work on something at the coffee table or whatever, like it's really nice just like taking the pressure off your tailbone and your hip bones and just kind of like letting you relax a little bit. Or if I like to write, and so I usually like to sit at the kitchen table, so if I'm going to be there for hours, I'll use this too. And it's just, you could stick it in a desk chair. It's just like a nice little extra bit of cushion and support. So those are my kind of household everyday tips I have for how I manage pain and fatigue. They're really important to me because it's not just about pain management, but I think it's really important, if you deal with those things, to be able to still feel independent and not like you have to rely on other people for everything. So finding just like little easy ways that I can just make things easier on myself just makes me feel really good and like I'm taking care of myself. So I hope you find these helpful. If you did and you like this video, I do make other videos around dealing with chronic illness. I also make videos just about like fashion and cooking and artwork and pretty much whatever I want. So if you like this video and if you want to see more from me, feel free to subscribe. I post videos 2 to 3 times a month. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.